Welcome to the podcast. I'm Lee Drake, and today we're going to talk about, was Saquon Barkley the best pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, and what might people see from the Giants in 2018? So, Dez Bryant's recent free agency has created a lot of controversy in the NFL, where he might end up, where he might go. Rumor says he wants to stay in the same conference, and ultimately he felt quite disrespected by the Dallas Cowboys by not being offered a pay cut instead of just being released. And whenever it comes down to it, nobody knows where Dez will go, but people speculate he might end up in New York. And New York is coming out of the 2018 NFL Draft with high hopes for the 2018 football season as they pick up what is expected or was, I guess, titled to be the best college running back to go into the draft. It was Saquon Barkley. And they took Barkley second overall, of course, behind the first overall pick taken by the Browns, and that would be Baker Mayfield from OU. And ultimately, Saquon is expected to have a great career in the NFL, but there's been a lot of busts. And there's always busts, and only time will tell. Will Saquon be Saquon in the NFL? His numbers that he put up in college were phenomenal, and he contended for the Heisman Trophy. The kid torched defenses. But NFL defenses are a lot more versatile. They come at you with completely different schemes than you see in college. But the biggest factor is your linebackers and defensive ends are a lot, and I mean way more athletic. You've got linebackers that can keep up and run with running backs, and you've got defensive ends that can get off the line and seal an edge quicker than the running back can get out of the backfield. And so Saquon's future in the NFL will ultimately start to be seen in 2018, and he will have some growing pains, I'm sure, in some developing stages. But if he stays healthy, uh, everyone expects him to have a good career in the NFL, and ultimately that's the biggest thing for running backs is just staying healthy. Every time they touch the ball, they get hit. So unless they get out of bounds, of course, but 9 times out of 10 they're getting hit. And so he's got to stay healthy. But if you're a Giants fan right now, you've got to be excited. And you've got to be thinking about, yeah, we're coming off one of the worst seasons we've had lately. But also, we could have one of the best this year. And the reason why is because you've still got Eli Manning, who does catch a lot of flack for some of the reads he makes and some of the interceptions, but ultimately you can't blame it all on him. In 2017, he was under a lot of pressure because the Giants lacked a running game. They didn't have any running game really whatsoever, and their defense played well. Their defense is strong. It centers around Landon Collins and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie and Janoris Jenkins, but their defense didn't. I mean, they're not going to put up the points. And so 2017 was a struggle for Eli as he was throwing more passes than he usually would have to if they had a run game. And Odell Beckham was being double covered and bracketed every game. And that's something that Odell is used to, and rightly he should be used to because he's one of the best receivers in the league right now. But also, whenever your offense revolves around the Manning to Beckham connection, it's not that hard for NFL defenses to lock around those two guys, and that's why you saw the outbreak of Evan Ingram in 2017. Ingram is a great tight end. He's got the speed of a wide receiver, but the size to make crucial run blocks on the edge and outmaneuver defensive backs and get them out of position without getting called for pass interference. And so if you look at 2018, the potential for a really good Giants offense and a Giants run into the playoffs is there because you have experience. You have Evan Ingram's size and athleticism at the tight end position, and whenever you face NFL teams, they're going to have to decide, do we put a safety on him who's going to be undersized 9 times out of 10, or do we put a linebacker on him that's going to get outran 9 times out of 10? So, and then Odell is going to attract his usual double coverage. And so guys like Sterling Shepard can have big games. Sterling is a great receiver out of the University of Oklahoma, picked up a couple years ago by the Giants organization, and he's got a lot of speed. and he's got good hands. And he had some good games in 2017, mainly because of the attraction and the determination of NFL defenses to stop Odell Beckham. And so you saw the potential there for players to step up and make plays, but ultimately the Giants' number one thought right now is what can Saquon do for us? And if you're a Giants fan, you're hoping that Saquon Barkley can reduce the number of throws that Manning has to make, because every time that he has to throw and throw and throw, that's harder and harder coverages to read. It's never good to be a one-dimensional offense. And even if you're the Patriots, they still use their running backs. Maybe not, under center where Brady's handing it off to them, but they use them as scat backs and catching backs, as some people, some analysts and players refer to it. They're catching back because they catch the ball out of the backfield, whether it be on screens or they get flexed out to the sideline or in the slot to catch a short pass and hopefully get some yards after catch. But ultimately, Saquon Barkley could be the best draft pick coming out of 2018. Only time will tell. But Barkley's ability and athleticism showed off in college, and ultimately it's just going to be up to him and the Giants organization to keep him healthy. And if they do, the Giants should have a running game next year. And if the Giants have a running game in 2018, it's going to be awfully hard to control them and keep them on lockdown, because you've got to account for Barkley, you have to account for Odell Beckham, and you have to account for Evan Ingram. And if you double cover Odell and you put a safety, or even if you put a linebacker on Ingram, Ingram's going to get his. He's just too athletic. He's too big and he's too fast. He replicates almost a Rob Gronkowski. He's faster than Rob, not as big, but still the number of passes that he catches, the yards after catch that he creates, whether it be by making people miss or just shrugging them off, replicates the statistics of Gronk. And so if the Giants can keep their guys healthy, it could easily happen to where the Giants make a deep run into the playoffs, and who knows, they could contend in a Super Bowl. But they've got to keep Barkley healthy, and if Barkley stays healthy and takes some pressure off Eli Manning, then Manning can really shine this year and get some balls to Odell and get some balls to Ingram, and hopefully not have to worry, at least hopefully for him, not have to worry so much about, hey, how are we going to create offense? So that's it for today and today's podcast, and only time will tell what happens in New York and in MetLife Stadium, but Giants fans are definitely excited to see what comes in store for them and their organization in 2018.